Hey guys, HaxorTech here for a video review today. So what we're going to be doing is talking about a laptop that I've been using for almost a year now. You can see here that I ordered this laptop. It's the MSI GS60 Ghost. And I ordered this in February of 2015. And I just wanted to do a video review to tell you guys my thoughts about this particular laptop. It's been a fantastic laptop. I use it for everything. I use it for gaming, for doing my videos, and it's just been really awesome. So I wanted to do a little tutorial or video review on this particular machine. So let's go ahead and look at the page here. Now, most of what I'm going to talk about, I could relay it in physical videos showing the laptop, but I felt it was just easier to just show you guys some screenshots because it really doesn't convey necessarily that much better on video. So I'm just going to talk about some of the key features that I think makes this laptop really good. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the screen quality. So this laptop has a 15.6-inch 1080p matte display. And one of the things that I think is really great about this laptop is that matte display. Most of the laptops that I've used in the past have a glossy display, which is good for certain scenarios, but in a lot of cases when I'm using my laptop, especially when I'm traveling with it, there's a lot of like incoming light from outside or from lamps and things like that, which really just reflect off that screen, and it makes it very difficult to actually see the display and to fully enjoy the content that you're looking at. So whenever I'm traveling and I'm using this machine, it just looks really beautiful. I'm looking at it right now in this room, and there's light coming in from the outside, and it just does not show up at all on the screen. So it's very crisp and very nice looking, just an overall really good display. So outside of the display itself, the next thing that I thought was really worth mentioning here is the actual speakers on this machine. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about after the screen here is the audio. So if you look in the top left-hand corner here, you'll see that it says Sound by Dyn Audio. And then if you look here, you're going to assume that this little tray here, these little dots right below the power button here, you're going to assume most likely that that's where the audio is going to come from, and that's not actually the case. It's kind of a unique design, but those little holes that you see are actually used for ventilation. It pulls air from the top of the laptop down whenever you're using it, and it cools the machine. So the audio is actually on the bottom portion of the laptop. Here's the actual bottom of the MSI Ghost, and so this is what it would look like if you flip the device over. So there are little speaker grills here on the back of the device, and that's where the sound actually comes out of. Now if you look on the website for MSI here, you can see that they have a visual depiction of how the sound is actually going to come out. And it does come out sounding like stereo speakers. I was a little bit hesitant when I found out that the sound does come from the bottom, that it was going to sound really poor. That's not actually the case. It does actually provide really good sound. It does have a stereo experience, and the bass is actually surprisingly good. So I've listened to a lot of laptops, including a MacBook, and honestly, this is really at the top of the class for audio coming out of a laptop. So I was really impressed with the way the audio sounds on this device. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is how thin the laptop is. So obviously this device is marketed as being a very thin laptop. So for comparison, the best way that I could kind of compare this to a real life item would be AA batteries. I stack two on top of each other, and it comes exactly to the center of the second AA battery I stacked. So it's about 1.5 AA batteries stacked on top of each other in terms of thickness when you have the lid closed. So that's super thin. When you see it in real life, it's just very incredible, to me at least, to have a device that's so thin with so much power in it. This has, of course, Core i7 processor in there, and we'll go ahead and go through some of the specs for this particular device. Okay, so going over some of the specs here, of course I'm going to leave a link in the description to the Amazon page for this laptop, but we'll just look at some of the specs a little bit briefly here. It's got, again, a 1920 by 1080p display, so that's 1080p. a 2.4 gigahertz i7 core processor. My particular unit has 16 gigs of memory, an NVIDIA GTX 860M processor. This unit gets 2 gigabytes of RAM from the graphics card, has 3 USB ports on the sides of the device. So there's going to be one USB port on the right side when you're looking from the front side of it, and there's going to be 2 USB ports on the left side when, again, you're looking at the front of the device. It weighs 4.4 pounds, which is an incredible weight considering how much this machine is capable of. Comes pre-installed with Windows 8, and then here are just a few more of the specs. It does have a 7200 RPM drive. Mine also does come with a solid state and hard disk drive. And just to show you guys more about that here, in my particular case, the real life kind of specs as far as how much space you're going to get from those drives. Again, mine has a solid state drive in there. In the solid state drive, you're going to get about 117 gigabytes of actual space. And then for the D drive, which of course is my hard disk drive, you're going to get about 915 gigabytes. So of course I believe they market the internal solid state drive as being a 128 gigabyte solid state drive, and the hard disk drive is marketed as about 1 terabyte. So these are the actual amounts of space that you're going to get when you turn your device on and once you're actually using it. Now, if you look at the Amazon page here, there's actually not, since this is an older laptop, there is a newer model out, which I'm going to show you guys. This is just the one that I purchased. So I think that there's only some used versions of this laptop available, and then there was one new one, but it's a little bit pricey. So I'll show you the best equivalent to this device. Okay, so here's the unit that I'm going to put in the description here. This is the newer and improved model. So I did want to show you guys the laptop that I had purchased. So this is the upgraded unit. The biggest upgrade here is going to be the graphics card, which is the GTX 970M. And of course, you're getting a 6th generation i7 processor, where I believe in my unit comes with a 4th generation i7 processor. The internal amount of storage, which is 128 gigs, and 1 terabyte for the hard disk drive, is the same as mine. It does come with Windows 10 pre-installed instead of Windows 8, and this is actually a fantastic price right now. It is the 27th of November, so there's a lot of good sales going on right now, but this is actually discounted to $14.87. And if you look at my previous order for my older unit, you can see here that I actually paid $14.99 when I purchased my laptop. So given that this is now even cheaper than what I paid for mine with a less effective graphics card and whatnot, this is a really, really great deal. So I'm going to put this link in the description for you guys. Fantastic unit, and again, it's pretty much the same design. The speaker system is exactly the same. The placement of the power button, the screen size and ratio. Looking and just comparing briefly the specs of this one here, if we scroll down, again, it's very similar. You do get an extra gigabyte of RAM from your graphics card, and it is 0.2 pounds lighter weight, which is pretty awesome. So those are a few of the important things that you'll notice as far as improvements with this unit. Now, just a few more things that I wanted to mention about the MSI Ghost unit that I have, and what you can expect out of this unit as well, is the actual sound that you're going to hear from the device. Now, with my unit going right now, I'll actually just place this over near the device so you can kind of hear. So you probably don't hear much, but it is extremely quiet. And so I really like that about this laptop. It does not make very much noise. If you're taking this to a public kind of setting and you're worried about it making too much noise, some other units that I've seen in the past, like Alienware's and other, specifically gaming laptops, can get very loud because it's going to require a lot of ventilation, and it's going to require a lot of power to keep that unit going and being able to perform the workload that it's doing. Even when I do play games on this unit, it doesn't get incredibly loud. You will hear it start to, for the fans to actually start spinning a little bit faster, but it's not anything that's going to really bother you that much, and surprisingly, compared to other units that I've used in the past, it is relatively quiet even with gaming performance. Okay, so just the last thing I wanted to talk about here is the design of the MSI here. And so looking at this particular model, I did notice that in the top left-hand corner here, it is showing that this is the 13.3-inch model, but it's going to be the same design here for the 15.6-inch unit. You can see here that I'm on the page for the 15.6-inch model. So you'll notice here that this has a brushed aluminum kind of design. Now on mine, on both the lid and the actual area here around the keyboard, mine is just solid black. But here they've got a really nice brushed aluminum, which is also a very nice touch here. The touchpad is fantastic. I believe all the MSIs have a pretty similar touchpad. It's a really, really nice touchpad to use. It feels very similar to the Macs, which I like. It's a solid piece, so when you're left and right clicking, it's all on the same piece here. And of course, it's got multi-touch, so you can use gestures to be able to scroll up and down on web pages and things like that. It works really well, and also works really well if you're using some of the Windows 8 features. Different shortcuts within Windows 10, things like that would be really easy to do on this touchpad here, but it's just overall really nice, comfortable feeling touchpad, whether you're using it for gaming or you're using it just for browsing the internet. And then looking at the lid here, again, I really like the design. Again, mine does not have the brushed aluminum design, but I do think it looks very sleek. I like these little kind of edges here, or these little etched in marks that kind of give it a very sleek feel and make it look very premium. And then we're just brushed with the MSI logo here and the MSI name. So very classy, very nice looking design, especially considering, you know, people might not know who MSI is, or that they even make laptops when you're going out. For example, I've had my unit out in public before, and people have asked me about it just because they look at the laptop and it looks very nice, and they might not know much about it, but it just has a very sleek and nice looking design. And just finally here, going and looking around the edges so you know what you're going to get in terms of connections. You have a slot here where you can put in your lock, so you can lock this down and keep people from stealing your laptop. You have your power connection where you plug in your power adapter, which, by the way, is actually, considering how heavy many power adapters can be for laptops, it's actually very lightweight for my taste, so I actually like that. A power adapter is not too big. So for comparison, the power block that you're going to be getting, it's about the thickness of my thumb. And as far as the actual length of the device, or the power block itself, it's about two of my pointer fingers side by side. So it's really not too thick, too bad, and it's actually pretty light, again, compared to other power blocks in its class. You'll see here you do get two USB 3.0 ports. You have a port to plug in your recording device or your headphones. Now looking at the right side of the laptop here, you can see a few of the other ports. So you're going to have from the right side here your Ethernet port, so you can connect it to the internet. So coming from the right here, you can see you have your Ethernet port here, so you can connect it to the internet with a wire. You have your mini display port, an HDMI port, an SD card reader, and one more USB 3.0 port. One more final thing as far as what I wanted to note about this laptop is just the boot up time. And this has to do with that solid state drive in part, but since I do have all of my operating system loaded onto the solid state drive of this laptop, it boots incredibly fast. Now again, part of that reason is from the solid state drive itself, but just in general, it boots up incredibly fast, usually within about 3 seconds. I can power the device on, and it's at the Windows 10 welcome screen, and I can just put in my PIN, and then I'm into my laptop, which is really awesome because I don't even need to put this machine to sleep. If I turn it off completely, and then I want to go back and use it, say an hour later, all I have to do is press the power button, and in about 3 seconds, I'm able to use the device. And then when I actually load everything on my laptop, so once I've actually signed in with my PIN code, everything loads incredibly fast. And coming from other machines that I've used in the past, as well as obviously other operating systems, just nothing compares to it. Even Macs that I've used do not really compare to this. It just loads incredibly fast. So I was very, very impressed with that on this machine. So again, I love this laptop. I'm still using it. I plan on continuing to use this laptop until, for whatever reason, it goes on me. Even with my device having a little bit less effective of a graphics card than this unit here with the 970M, mine with the 860M. It's still a fantastic laptop, and I don't plan on replacing it anytime soon. So again, I will leave this link in the description for you guys to check out. Let me know what you guys think, and if you have any questions about this laptop, or really either of these laptops, the newer or older model, just leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have, or if there's anything that you guys want to know. That's it for this video review of the MSI GS60, looking at both the older and newer model. Thanks for watching this video, and have a great day.